I work at THV11 in the marketing department. I've been there 24 years. I just turned 56. My caregiving journey started first with my mom, probably about 5 years ago, when I started noticing a difference in cognitive memory. And I think that when I'm always talking to people, one of the first things that happened for me is I went into a slow panic because I didn't know what was going on. My mom and dad never dealt with Alzheimer's in their family. Their parents died of cancer. So it was a very new term and understanding for me. So I was in a slow panic, and I began to reach out to some of my friends and getting some feedback from them, and realizing what I didn't know and what I did not have in place was really where the panic came from. I just did not understand that I needed to make sure we had paperwork in order. I didn't know how fast the disease worked. And so I began to be very productive. Well, I have a great group of friends. I call them my tribe, and they are quite understanding. So a lot of the time, because of sundowners, and if we spend time together, they come here. Of course, they want to make sure mom is completely protected, so they wear a mask, but we usually go into another room and spend time together, have dinner, or I can steal away and go have dinner with somebody outside, of course. The first was me just coming to terms with my own fear, anger that it was happening, and understanding that I was beginning the process of dealing with some grief. The second was just getting organized, feeling on top of things, trying my hardest not to, I think what I always tell people is, like, I really fought this at the beginning, but it makes sense. They do start to act like children, but they're not children. So find a way to communicate where you understand that their reasoning is so limited, and it will continue to be limited, but you can still talk with respect and kindness. And I thought what was the biggest challenge at the very beginning is because they're afraid and they're not able to articulate, they are really observing their loved ones. If I seemed nervous, then it was really upsetting to him. And the same with my mom. So it's another reason you just kind of die to self as much as you can, and then find those groups to find yourself. But die to self when you're with them, because the relationship is drastically changing. It has flipped upside down, and you can learn a lot about yourself very quickly when you decide to make those changes that keep love and compassion and kindness and all that at the forefront of this relationship, because ultimately their fear and their confusion is going to outweigh mine. I had to come to terms very quickly with my own fear, my own arrogance, my own ego, my own anxiety levels, and I had to deal with them very quickly so that I could be the best caretaker for my parents. First and foremost, trusting God that He was with me the entire time, knowing that I had the resources. So I think that when you realize that you've bypassed where you were, that's so rewarding. Because I mean, there were nights I cried myself to sleep, and there were nights I was so afraid. There were nights I was checking the Nest Cam for my dad, like every night it would go off and I couldn't sleep. But then I found myself into a rhythm